ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं खलु शायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्बृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयम्। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षैक्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भूमस्खलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनम् त्वय्यजात अपराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभो। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित् तं नृसिंहमहं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we are reading the prayers of Dhruva Maharaj that he is offering to Lord Narayana. Narayana has appeared in front of Dhruva, and Dhruva was touched by the conch shell, and then as soon as he was touched by the conch shell, he immediately got the knowledge in relation with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in entirety. So we heard the last prayer number, verse number 15, where he was telling the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. Even though, my dear Lord, you seem to be, looking like, appearing like an ordinary person, the difference is that you are eternally liberated and living entities are liberated only after you shower your mercy upon them. In this manner he has spoken many qualities in which the living entity differs from the Supreme Lord, or how Supreme Lord is completely beyond the comprehension of the ordinary living entities. So we will read verse number 16 from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 9th chapter. Yasmin viruddha gatayo hyanisham patanti vidyadayo vividha shaktaya anupurvya tad brahma vishwa bhavam ekam anantamadya adyam anandamatram vikaramaham प्रपद्ये. परस्पर विरुद्ध स्वभावशालिनी विद्या एवं अविद्यादि विविध शक्ति समूह जाहा होइते निरंतर उद्भूत होइते छे, सेई विश्वेर कारणभूत अखंड अनंत अनादि आनंदमात्र अविकार परब्रह्म श्री भगवत चरणे शरण ग्रहण कुरिलाम. So in this verse, Dhruva, we already heard the 3 verses he is going to speak about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. In the first, he told that you are lying on the serpent bed, Ananta Shesha, and from your navel came innumerable universes that are there inside the stem of the lotus flower. And Lord Brahma is sitting on top of that lotus flower, means he took birth from that flower, and at the time of dissolution you absorb everything within yourself. That is your eternal state. And in the next verse he told about the various qualities, how the Lord is supreme in all aspects and how he is worshipable by everyone. Now in this verse he is speaking the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. He is telling that, my dear, I am offering my obeisances to you. What kind of qualities do you have? You are akhanda. You are not to be non-dual substance. You are unlimited. There is no duality, or there is no there is no division or undivided. You are an undivided truth, and you are ananta, you are unlimited, and you are anadi. You have no origin, means from you everything originates. You are anandamay, you are completely a blissful personality, and you are avikar. You have no material transformations in you, and you are Parabrahma. You are that supreme Brahman. Parabrahma means completely divine and transcendental Brahman you are. And on top of it, he is telling that from you comes the 2 knowledges. One is divine knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and from you also comes the material knowledge. You are the source of both material knowledge as well as the divine knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Even though both these knowledges are contradictory, they are contradictory to each other. One speaks about transcending the material knowledge, that how this material knowledge is so insignificant and it is conditioning, that is the supreme knowledge. And on the other side, this knowledge which is conditioning is also given. Means the seemingly contradictory knowledges, both these knowledges are coming from the same source. Means from the same tree you are getting 2 different fruits. Is it possible? Same mango tree is giving mango also and tamarind also, or guava also. Is it possible? No. So, in any of these, in this material world, none of the things have got this contradictory qualities. Means we have some contradictory qualities definitely because we are coming from the Supreme Source. But the thing is that the Lord is again supreme when it comes to even these contradictory qualities. He is telling that, my dear Lord, you are the source of both these knowledges, material learning as well as spiritual learning. Vividha Shakti Samoha Jaha hoite nirantar udbhut hoite. And this knowledge is constantly emanating from you. These knowledges of matter and spirit, both these knowledges are coming from you. Means we cannot have knowledge of the material things also unless it is provided by the Supreme Lord Himself. We may say, oh, we have acquired this knowledge by our research, by our study, and by our experimentation. We may say, but it is not true. Whatever essential or elemental knowledge is required in this material world, that knowledge also comes from the Supreme Lord. Even the mathematics and all these subjects, they are all in the Vedas. They are all coming from the Vedas. No knowledge is without originating from the Vedas. Every knowledge has its original source from the Vedas. So, in this manner, material learning, the astrological knowledge is there about the predictions and all. Where is it coming from? Coming from the Supreme Lord. There is knowledge about the Ayurveda Shastras, how to cure what kind of disease, what are the symptoms. Where is it knowledge coming from? Where is this knowledge? It is coming from the Supreme Lord. So all these knowledges, material learning, these are all material learnings. These have got nothing to do with the spirit. But all these knowledges, learnings, they are also coming from Supreme Lord. And again, the knowledge about the spirit soul, the knowledge about the Supreme Lord, the knowledge about the devotees, and the knowledge about the transcendental abode, everything that is also emanating from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, I offer my obeisances to that Supreme Lord from whom this constantly, the contradictory knowledges are constantly emanating. And He who is undivided, unlimited, original, blissful, non-transfer, without any transformations, and highly spiritual. To Him I offer my obeisances, or to Him I submit. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Savishesha Bhagavat Swarup Bolya Nirvishesha Brahma Swarup Bolite Chen Yasmin Ityadi. So in the previous two verses, Dhruva has spoken about the Savishesha, means the Lord with His body, a form, etc. Like he is lying on a causal ocean, on a serpent bed, and from him comes Brahma, means there is a form. And in the previous verse also he spoke that you are eternally liberated, and the living entities are, eternally, they are bound unless they are showered mercy by you, and you are the original Supreme Personality. All the modes of material nature are under your control. Like in this material world, a living entity transforms through various bodies, but you does not transform. You are in your original spiritual form. So in the last two verses, he spoke about the Lord's, spiritual form. But now in this, he is speaking about the Lord's Nirakar, without form. Parabrahma is talking about the Parabrahma. You have no form. So Nirvishesha Brahma Swarup. Nirvishesha means without any attributes, without any qualities. That is Nirvishesha. So the Brahman has no attributes. Brahman has no qualities. He is talking about that Brahman in this particular verse. So they say that the Lord is Nirvishesha, He has no qualities. Nishaktika, He has no powers. Nirakara, He has no form. Nirvikar, He is no transformation. Like this, the Brahmavadis, they speak like this. But it is one of the preliminary realizations about the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord can be known in three different aspects, is known in three different aspects. And the Brahman realization of the Supreme Lord is the very, very beginning of it. And the Paramatma realization is above that, and the realization of the Lord's form is the topmost. Therefore, the Brahman there is no existence of Brahman, it is not true. Brahman exists, but it is a very, very primitive or a very, very initial understanding of the Supreme Lord. It is nothing but the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. So, Guru Maharaj used to say, if the Supreme Lord has no potencies, if the Supreme Lord has no qualities, they say, Shankaravadis, those who are followers of Shankara Sampradaya, or the monistic principle it is called, one with the Brahman, they follow that principle. They say, if you say that the Brahman is without transformations, the Brahman has no Nishaktika, no potencies, then how do the living entities have come into existence? You say that, everything has come from Brahman. We have come from the Brahman. We have come from Brahman means Brahman has undergone some transformation. Without the Brahman undergoing transformation, how can we come? Isn't it? If there is no energy, if there is no potency, Nishaktika, there is no potency, there is no attribute, there is no transformation, then how can it be transformed into a living entity? They say that the Supreme Lord makes his appearance, that is Brahman only. Now, how come Brahman has transformed into a form? It needs some transformation. You are saying that it is non-transformable, then why is it transforming? So, at certain places, they cannot give an argument. They say that, there are no attributes, there are no qualities. But without qualities, without potencies, how can, this material world be created? If Brahman has no potencies, how this material world is created? It's a potency. It is through potency this world is created. Therefore, if someone were to say the Lord has no potencies, he has actually not understood the Lord in entirety. Yes, Lord's effulgence is there, that is Brahman. That is not having energies, we can understand. That is not having potencies, we can understand. That is that cannot be transformed, we can understand. But the Lord himself has no qualities or no attributes, it is not right. Because he has qualities, because he has energies, he is transforming. Otherwise, it is not possible. Abhikaram means vikara shunya. There is no transformation in him. Arthat nidvikar keval ananda matra is only blissful, only state of bliss, nothing else. That is his state. Nitya chidatmaka swarupe nanavido vishesho grahane asamartho durasthito keval शांत भक्तगणेर भक्ति मिश्र ज्ञान दृष्टिते प्रतिभात जहाँ आपनार महिमा स्वरूप सही ब्रह्म के शरण ग्रहण करितेछि. He is telling that I take shelter of that Brahman. How is that Brahman? He is telling that is Chidatmaka. Chidatmaka means completely spiritual state. It is a complete spiritual, transcendental entity, Brahman. नानाविधो विशेष ग्रहणे असमर्थ दूरस्थितो केवल शांत भक्त गणेर भक्ति मिश्रो ज्ञान दृष्टिते प्रतिभाता. And how can one realize this Brahman form? Now this Brahman form can be realized by those persons who are inclined towards knowledge. And knowledge that is mixed with devotion, or you can say devotion that is mixed with knowledge. Some perform devotion with a mixture of knowledge. They will attain this Brahman state. So he is telling that it is like someone is standing from a very, very far off distance. Observing a particular item from a far off distance is like that of a Brahman. Means, if some person is standing, let's say 500 meters far from us, or let's say more than half a kilometer away from us. Now we can say, if there is sunlight, not night, if there is sunlight, we can see someone standing there. We can see there is somebody standing there, but you cannot see whether he is black or white, whether he has spectacles or not, whether his hair is black or white, what kind of clothes he has worn, what color it is, what is his height. We cannot see all these features, isn't it? None of these features can be seen. And some distance is, some object is standing even further away, let's say 1 kilometer away. Then you will not really know whether it is a person or not. You will see it is some object, that's it. Some object is there. You cannot see it as a person. So here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that those devotees whose knowledge is very, very initial, and they are seeing that Supreme Absolute from a very far off distance, then there cannot be any special qualities seen in him, like the qualities of white or black, what is the height, what color dress he wore, whether he is a man or a woman. None of these things can be seen from a far off distance. So, which means there are no qualities. You don't see any qualities, there are no attributes you can see from a far off distance. So, Brahman realization is something like that. One who is very, very far, far away from the personality of Supreme Lord, actual form of Supreme Lord, he sees that Lord to be a person without any features. That is Brahman. And who will have such a realization? Only those persons who are performing devotion mixed with knowledge. Those are performing devotion, pure, unalloyed devotion, with a singular purpose of propitiating the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Then they can see the Lord's actual true form. But those who are in this state, they can see. So here, Dhruv Maharaj is telling that Brahman is also your effulgence. It is not that it is different from you, it is separate from you. That Brahman, Brahmano hi pratishta aham. I am the source of that Brahman. Therefore, it is coming from you, but from a distance we can see that Lord as a Brahman form, not without any features. अर्थात अधिकारी आनंद मात्र से ब्रह्म स्वरूप आपनार शरणापन्न होइलाम. So those who are eligible only to this extent of realizing your Brahman state, to that Brahman state I offer my obeisances. यस्मिन् निशक्तिक बोलिया प्रतीत होइलेओ जाहाते विद्यादि विविध शक्ति समूह निरंतर थाकिलेओ अनुपूर्वात् पर्याक्रमे पतंती प्रतीत उद्भूत होते छे. अर्थात जहादेर गति परस्पर विरुद्ध एवं जहादेर शक्ति उत्तम मध्यम अधम भेदे नानाविध से सकल विद्या और अविद्याओ निरंतर जहा होते उद्भूत होइया स्व कार्य करते छे. So he is further explaining the qualities of the Supreme Lord. That, my dear Lord, you are Nishaktika, you have no potencies, you have no energies. Brahman, they say that there are no potencies. Now, if there are no potencies, where is this knowledge coming from? Paravidya and Aparavidya. Knowledge about the material subject and knowledge about the Supreme. It is an energy, right? It is a potency. Knowledge is what? Knowledge is an energy. Sat, Chit and Ananda. It is an attribute of the Lord. He is eternal, He is knowledgeable, and He is blissful. That Chit potency is the source of all these things. Without potency, it is not possible. So he is telling that even though you are Nishaktika, even though you don't have potencies, but you also seem to be the source of these two kinds of energies. What energies? What knowledge? Material learning and spiritual learning. You are the source of these things. So this is He's telling that this is very contradictory. You have no energies, but you are still source of these energies. So the Lord has all these contradictory qualities inside him. Simultaneously, it seems that he is there and he is not there. Like we heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I am inside all the living entities and the living entities are also inside me. How both these things are possible? Either he should be inside living entities or living entities should be inside him. But he is telling that I am inside the living entities and inside the living entities, within me are also living entities. And I am not in them, they are not in me. What is this? This is the transcendental nature. This is achintya, this is beyond the comprehension. The Lord is beyond the material understanding. How is this possible? Our question immediately, how is it possible? He is inside and we are inside him. This is inconceivable. We cannot understand with material knowledge. A person who has transcended the material knowledge, a person who has attained the state of Atma, he can understand. But in our current state, we cannot. I usually give this example that in our school, when education is given to a small child, he is initially taught about additions and subtractions, etc. So when he is taught about subtractions, he is told to subtract 2 from 5. 5 minus 2. Then he is also taught that for 5 you should open 5 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fingers you open, and to subtract 2 from it, you close 2 fingers, 1 and 2. And now you count how many fingers are remaining. 1, 2, 3. 3 fingers are remaining. So means 5 minus 2 is 3. And also another way is that you draw 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of those 5 lines, you cut 2 lines. 5 minus 2. You cut 2 lines. How many lines are remaining? 3 lines are remaining. So 5 minus 2 is 3. This is how we are taught. Now, if suddenly the teacher asks what is 5 minus 7, then what will the child say? He will draw 5 lines, or he will open 5 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 7. He could only do minus 5. After that 2 he cannot do minus. Even similarly by drawing lines also he cannot. So it is not possible. It's not possible. Because for his state, for his learning, 5 minus 7 is not possible. But if 5 minus 7 is not possible, entire mathematics will be gone. It will be gone completely. If there is no existence of negative numbers, then mathematics is gone. Why? I have put 1000 rupees in the account and I am taking 1500 rupees credit from the bank. Okay? I have put 1000 rupees in the bank and 1500 rupees I have taken credit. Means I have minus 500 rupees balance. Means I still owe 500 rupees to the bank. But if the minus number doesn't exist, then everything is gone completely. But for a small child, it doesn't exist. But when his learning becomes little higher, he goes to higher standards, then there is also existence of negative numbers. Not only that, there is also existence of imaginary numbers. Those who are students of mathematics, they know that there is also an imaginary number. Square root of minus 1 is an imaginary number. Those who have studied higher mathematics, they know. But all these things, they have a significance in mathematics. When a small child does not understand all these things, when he grows a little further up, then he will understand. In a similar way, the Lord's potencies, how they are inconceivable, for our state they are inconceivable. But a person who has grown, like for a small child, it is inconceivable. Existence of a minus number is inconceivable. Existence of something like a square root of minus 1 is not existing. Imaginary number is not existing from him, from his point of view. But a person who has situated himself in a little higher standard, he will know the existence of all these things. In a similar manner, when we transcend ourselves to a superior state, then we will understand, in the matter it is not possible, but in the spirit it is possible. Matter is existing at one place, and it is also existing at another place. It is not possible. Either my mobile is here in my room or in your room. My mobile cannot be simultaneously in my room and your room also. It is impossible. Matter is like that, and our experience is only limited to this. But Atma, that spirit, can be present anywhere simultaneously. A person who has the knowledge of the spirit, he will understand, oh, this is possible. So in this manner, there are contradictory qualities in the Supreme Lord, and from him comes the spiritual knowledge, from him also comes the material knowledge. And also another potency that is existing in him is that he exists in three different states simultaneously. That's also contradictory. He exists as Vibhu, a superior person. He exists as Anu, inferior person, and he also exists as Madhyama. There are three states of the Supreme Lord: Anu, Madhyama, and Uttama or Vibhu. Three states he is simultaneously existing. How? In his Anu form, in his small form or infinitesimal form, he is existing as super soul in all the living entities. As a super soul, he is living in all the living entities, in everything animate. And as an all-pervasive principle, Antaratma, Antaryami, he is Vibhu. He is spread everywhere. He knows everything. That is called the Antaryami state of the Supreme Lord. That is the Vibhu. That is the, that is the, what you call, Uttama form. He is present as infinitesimal form. He is present as a magnanimous form or, huge form, and Madhyastha, middle, like a small Krishna baby form or a human form. It is neither small, neither huge, in between. So in these three states, Lord will simultaneously exist. Who can understand this? Those who have a knowledge of the superior spirit, those who are in the matter, they cannot understand. How can, one person, let's say Prasad, how can Prasad be small and big and middle simultaneously? It is not possible. He is either big or small or, some middle, but he cannot be all the three simultaneously. But Lord is all the three simultaneously. This is the contradictory quality in the Supreme Lord. Nobody can visualize with the material understanding, because matter, what will matter give knowledge? Matter always is, limited in its, space, in its time, in the time span it exists. Everything there is a limitation, but spirit, there is no limitation. It is beyond. Therefore he is telling that, my dear Lord, it may appear that you have no energies, but you have energies in such a manner that are inconceivable. Nobody can understand those. And Nanavidha sei sakal vidya avidya nirantar jaha hoite. And this knowledge of material learning and spiritual learning, both these learnings are simultaneously and constantly coming from you. They are constantly coming from you. এখানে ভক্তির তারতম্য অনুসারে ভগবানের এবং দূরে অবস্থিত হেতু দৃষ্টান্ত ও দার্ষ্টান্তিক চারি প্রকার ভেদ দেখানো হইতেছে. So now, through an example, it is being explained a visionary, a person who is seeing, and the object which is being seen. An example is given. In four states an object can be seen by the seer. A seer is there and an object is there. So through an example here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives that depending upon the state of the seer, he will see the object accordingly. Means the closer he goes to the object, the more clarity he will have about that particular object. So he says, through example I am going to explain this. अतएव अपनी भक्तिर तारतम्य वशतः सामीप्य तारतम्य मुक्तो तारतम्य युक्तो विशेष तारतम्य ग्रहणे समर्थ भक्तगणेर मध्ये. So in a similar way, just like there is a difference in the seer, the object is the same. The object is the same, but depending on the position of the seer, the same object is seen differently. Just now I gave an example that a person is standing, let's say, a kilometer far off from me. Then I see him little differently. I go little closer to him. I go half a kilometer closer. Then I see little differently. I go 200 meters closer to him, little differently. I go very, very close to him. Then I see differently. So he says that as per the state of devotee's position with respect to the Lord, he will also see the Lord in a different states. So we will not continue here from here because time is up. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives through example, and this example we will read tomorrow. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. जय श्री नारद गोस्वामी की जय. श्री ध्रुव महाराज की जय. परमारतम श्री गुरुदेव की जय. परमारतम श्री परम गुरुदेव की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.